Okay, that's way better now. Because I've been talking for like a good minute. I don't know if the mic was picking up. I'm pretty sure my VTuber model was like picking up the lip flops and whatnot. Anyways, I kind of gave up on the aspect of trying to have like a daily stream or like a proper schedule streaming. Uh, I don't know. Realistically, I don't know. Like I feel like the first 2 years that I started doing this, it was like fine. Like I had a consistent scheduling. Now it's like, oh, did I feel like streaming today, or did I not feel like streaming today? So, uh, let's see. Why is Lofi like one of the main things the when you're looking for like when you search for like background music, it's always Lofi. Like I'm not against like Lofi like you know music, but like I kind of like the idea of having like other stuff, something that has like a little bit more variety. That's just me. No. Pokemon Chill. Mm, okay, I can vibe with that. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. So, recording on what I want to do with the episode 3, I kind of have an idea on what exactly I want to do with it. Um, Actually, just for the sake of clarity, I'm gonna be adding this to the description box. There we go. Anyways, so something that I want to do with it is I had the original thought at the first time when I created this that Nikki, who is like the main female character of for this episode, should have more of a what's the word I'm looking for? She was already established as a witch, but I had this thought: uh, what if it was more of a like how she was created, how she became a witch in a sense. So for the beginning, it should be like, "Hello, Nikki. Oh wait, the color of this wig. Wait, give me a second. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Nick. Oh, wait. The color of this week has no cellular antenna. In fact, phones haven't been created in her time period. So let's take a look from our trusty observer. I don't think I have the voice right now. Because normally I feel like the voice that I tend to go for is more like deep, even though I don't think it's that deep. Um, hello. Hello, Nick. Oh, wait. The color of this week hasn't. Actually, I don't think Zayn has no cellular antenna. Hey, dude, how you doing? Welcome in. I don't think Zayn has no cellular antenna, and in fact, what's up? How you doing? Chilling, just working on. How are you, bro? I'm doing good. Tired. Work really had a fun field trip today. But how about you? How's everything? How's your I want to say your afternoon so far. Okay, lost this week. Um, should I just lower this a little bit? I think I should just lower a little bit, just a tiny bit, maybe around there. Also, how's your week so far, Telugu? Hopefully you're doing well. The color of this week. It's from a different period of time. Phones have been created. That thing that mm, phones have been created. Wait, the color of this week is from a different period. Let's just say from a different period rather than for a period of time. Actually, yeah. From a different period. Rather than period, say a different time. A, a different time. Wait, did I just... No, I didn't. Okay, cool. Different time. A time where phones and all those electronic devices never existed. Okay, see, I think that kind of lies. A time where actually where all your pesky useless tech. I think that might be uh they didn't exist. Time where all your useless things didn't exist. Instead of saying you should say like all the useless tech. Nothing where all the useless tech didn't exist. So let's take a look from our trusted observer. Our lovely Hmm. They use these things you guys call phones. Yeah, maybe. That should be fine, I think, maybe. Right. So let's take a look through the eyes. Eyes of our trusty observer. Look at my cute bird. It's one of bioenergy. That's 11. No. So instead of saying "look at my cute bird," it's full of the way that I want to say is what is an animal that's allegedly connected to? They tend to be seen as part of like some sort of demonic contractor. I want to say like a black cat, but I don't think that's a good one. What animal? It tends to be connected to demonic. Demons, I guess. The goat is an animal most frequently connected to demons related to the depiction of Satan. Well, okay. Okay, then, okay. That, I think that I can probably work with that. Oh, look at my. What's the name of that young goat? How does young goat call? A baby goat. A goat is called a kid. And common. Wait, what? The ghost or domestic goat is a species of goat antelope that is mostly kept as livestock. It was domesticated from the. Okay. That is such a crazy thing. A baby goat is called a kid because the word kid has been used to refer to a young goat in English for centuries, originally from Old Norse, where kids meant young goat. I'm not even kidding about that. I'm not even kidding about that. Like, let me put on my browser for a second. Wait, is that even opening my browser? It's not opening my browser. So is that right? Literally right here. That is wild. Let me see if I can zoom in for this. I even hide my own BitTorrent. Great. This went on the board. There we go. It's literally right here. That is impressive. Holy cow. Let me turn off this screen for a second. I actually never knew that. That's actually kind of interesting. Holy cow. Look at my cute kid. Or just the observer. Or I should say or favorite rather than trusty. Favorite observer. Mainly because like in a way that kind of works in my head is that that's what they're saying or favorite, meaning that they have a specific animal. Sort of like in like the movies as they use goats. Again, that's the description in red. Um, so that might be a good situation. Look at my cute kid. Um, that is such a baffling thing. I never expected the word kid be used as a way to address a young goat. That's mind boggling to me. Look at my cute kid. Look at my cute kid. Hopefully you grow. You grow big and strong. Mm, actually, what does goats even do? Like in like related to like farm work. What does goat do in farm? Milk production, clearing land by eating weeds and brush and providing meat. Or fiber like mohar for Kashmir. Fudge. Oh boy. Oh, fudge. Saliva went to a whole different place. What's another film goat? A film goat is called a doe or. Are you serious? Okay, that's really such a weird thing. A female goat is called a doe or a nanny. A male goat is called a buck or a billy. Fudge. And a baby goat is called a kid. Term for an adult female goat. Doeling is a young female goat that is not yet an adult. Buckling, a young male goat that is not yet sexually mature. And whether a male goat that has been castrated. That is impressive. In terms of how many terminologies they have used for goats. Uh, hopefully you grow to be a strong nanny. Okay. That's a really going to sound extremely weird to say the least. You grow to be a strong nanny. Because actually, I can probably pull that up. Go terminology. Diablo contest. I don't really. Okay. A group of goats is called a herd due to the nature of goats being prey animals. They are made to live in herds within the group of goats. The goats, there will be a hierarchy amongst the goats. Breeding goats are livestock that stay in a farm or a ranch long term and are used for the purpose of breeding to produce more goats. Typically, a farm will have many female breeding goats compared to just a few male breeding goats. A female goat is called a doe, and nanny goat is a slang term for a female goat. However, the preferred terminology for a female goat is doe. A young female goat is called a doeling goat. Goat dam is the term used to describe the female goat parent when referring to genetic lineage as a goat. As a goat. I'm learning something new today. Holy cow. An intake male goat is called a buck. A billy or billy goat is a slang term for the intake male goat. However, the preferred terminology for a male goat is a buck. A young male goat is a buckling goat. Goat sire is the term used to describe the male goat parent when referring to the genetic lineage of a goat. A wether goat is a castrated or neutered male goat. It can sometimes be called a wether goat. Young goats are known as yearling goats. They are 1 to 2 years of age typically. Doe-longs are young female goats for up to a year. Baby goats are called kids. Okay. That's actually impressive. I saw the research that I made was like not true, you know, because like sometimes I just pull things out randomly, especially the AI kind of. I'm not like super sure about it. What is that? Wait, what's that? Oh, the whole BC phase. Okay, I opened two of them. Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense. I was wondering why that was there, but I'm dumb. It's like 4 in the morning already. Hopefully you grow to be a strong. Was it doeling? A doe. A strong doe to bring fresh milk for the farm. No, to bring let's say lots of fresh milk to the farm. And for this, I want to add a ghost sound effect. Because so the whole favorite observer again is going to be the goat. It's gonna get kind of like a given. And this instead of saying this, I can just save this for this. I can save it for down here and remove this. Look at her. Look at her. She's not aware. Oh my god, that's cliche. I was gonna say, like, look at her. She is not aware, but she'll become something worse that you anticipate. I'm so young and pretty. Eve. I'm thinking that I want to add like an evil laugh. I don't know why I really want to do an evil laugh. So young and naive. No, actually, a sigh. Sigh. So young and naive. Such a disappointment. Such a disappointing. No, I don't want to say disappointing. It'll be troublesome, actually. It will troublesome if someone became a demon disciple. So just a disciple or follower? I'm debating on those two. If someone becomes a demon, actually, I should say witch. Become a witch. Hmm. I wonder. Ooh, will she become a disciple? I wonder who she will sell her soul. So let's say instead of saying no, among normal people, let's say back in the 1800s, witches were just a rumor for people to what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say the word might be a kill. Yeah, I do feel like that might be a. Doesn't really go well with the flow. Back on the 1800s, wishes were just a rumor for people to just hunt. Hunt and harm women that they either despise or mm, my question is how deep I want to go to this rabbit hole. Because there's certain things I can probably use in terms of terminologies that might add more flavor to it, but I also kind of want to limit on the words that I want to say, in case that somebody might get offended, and YouTube is like, yeah, no, like you gotta take that down. So for this, let's remove just Hondan, and let's just harm woman the despise, spite, or I want to say got rejected, because like in some I could be wrong on this because I haven't done like a lot of research on it, but my aspect is like people back in those days either accused of a woman to be a witch based on if they're in good terms, or what's the other one? Mm, not good terms, bad terms. They tend to accuse women that were in bad terms with, and men that in a sense went overboard without giving the explicit word, right? On women Um, and if they kind of couldn't get anything from them, it was kind of like, oh yeah, she's a witch, or if something happened, and then you know, I can say like if I'm like they people understand what I'm referring to. Um, so well, say my best guess guess is it's also in the spine or let's say they used to harm a woman that came out that were let's say outcast. Yeah, I think that might be a better word. Because I'm thinking like woman that came out of town, but saying outcast might be actually better. Or outcast, or let's say healers. Because that's what gonna be like healer. No healer. I literally know what I'm thinking about. I just don't know how to translate in English. Because in Spanish there is a word called yerbotero. Yerbotero is somebody who deals with like it depends on the context, obviously. Um, yerbotero can be a meaning of some like a shaman in a sense. I believe that's the one. Um, no, shaman. A curator maybe. Might be the word. So basically, it's somebody that deals with like medicinal plants. Um, or it's also like some sort of type of I don't know if I can say the word, but some sort of drug. A herbalist or a witch doctor. Okay. Uh, let's say a herbalist because I was saying the word witch doctor kind of defeats the purpose of the whole thing. Herbalist. The either wander around either when from town to town. Uh, in for either survival in order to survive. In order to survive. Or find new businesses. Business adventures. Ventures? So the reason why I want to say outcast is potentially on that aspect that um, who I'm assuming I shouldn't be assuming. The reason why I specifically went for outcast or is mainly because my assumption is that this kind of happened to them, and if in lack of a better wording, certain people just can just accuse those women, isolate them, or just go for that like the witch route in a sense. And that not only applies to male, but that also applies to like females, mainly because like females can essentially outcast like people like easily, and probably like half the time, if not the majority of the time, like the male will literally follow up on those circumstances, especially if the person is accused to be a witch, at least within the story. I feel like I'm correlating this or connecting this to like a real life things, and it just kind of feels weird. Oh, where did she say her soul? Nikki, a young farmer. A young farmer that became an orphan. Orphan. Uh, Words at a young age. Uh, and had to take the mantle of a had to take the over the land her parents would have left. No, to be an orphan at a young age. I think over the farm that she was raised. That makes this a sad story, even though it's supposed to be horror. Hmm. You know what? I'm going to have this one as like the only free, like, sad non horror story. Because, like, I have an idea on how I wanted to connect everything. It's just trying to, like, actually do it rather than, you saying it. These by brands. As she grew up, uh, as she, actually, as she grew up, Nikki had more. As she grew up, Nikki had more issues. Keeping the farm afloat. As if. Is that a word, afloat? I gotta look it up. Afloat. Okay, it is. Out of the difficulty. Afloat. A happening venue serving cocktails, mains, and bar bites. Okay, okay. Damn, that's pricey. Okay, something. Have more issues keeping the farm afloat. Not only. Hmm. Afloat, not only from. I'm going to keep using a lot of Google today. Holy cow. Um, what's the thing that helps prevents soil barren? Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Barren, only from the land going barren. Uh, crops slowly. I want to say that in a way, but I don't think that's the word. The crops are slowly going bad. But also dealing with the village people. Slowly but surely. Slowly, Nikki became an outcast by the time she reached adulthood. Her land wasn't as profitable as it was. The farmland became barren. I keep saying barren. Mm, afloat. Actually, yeah, as the became barren. Um, the farmland became barren. The people avoided avoided her. Avoided her. As she was. mm, Chetos. That they hurt. The people put her as rumors were spread that she was cursed by a demon. Let's say by a witch. No, actually, yeah, a demon. That kind of will make more sense as things go. The people were persuaded that she was cursed by a demon. And slowly, until she until died. Mm, that she was cursed by a demon. Until one day, mm, or that she was a witch. The witch, the reason why she, or actually that she was a witch and her parents were a sacrifice. Uh, for her to become one. Wait, how many lines does episode 2 has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's roughly for about 5 minutes. Okay, cool. Mm, one day, Iggy found a baby goat. A kid, so they called it. So they call Xiao. Oh, bye. That's what it means on Italian, right? Have a good one. Oh, it's hello, by the way. Oh. Okay, I thought it was like a way to say goodbye. But hello, how's it going? Uh, it can mean goodbye, but it depends on context. Oh, okay. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I never knew that. Thank you. How you doing? Hopefully you're having a great day or night. For me, it's like 4 in the morning, so it's night. One day I need to find a baby goat, a kid, so or so they address as a. I just woke up. It's currently 1 p.m. Ooh. Honestly, that sounds way better. I honestly wish it was like 1 p.m. right now. But if that was the case, I would be like getting ready to work. I'm not ready for that. If I never go, I can't. Or at least that's what the farmer is call it. Because my ADHD like brain can't stop. Oh, I see. Well, for me, it's kind of like I have a really weird like sleeping disorder. I wouldn't call this a sleeping disorder. Like I feel like, for me at least, calling it a disorder feels off. Like I have the sleeping issues. To put 'em in a better phrasing, like my brain for some reason, like after midnight, it just magically wakes up. Like if I'm awake and past midnight have passed, like I feel like refreshed. Like I don't need sleep. Um, but that's more of like a mental thing for me. Basically, I'll probably be like passing out, but my brain is like, oh no, like we're so good to go. We can keep going for like another 24 hours. Yeah, I also have trouble going to bed. Yeah, and I don't know about you, but for me, melatonin doesn't work at all. Like I have tried before. I think it worked like once, and after that, just never work again. So like, yeah, that is a fun thing to have. Hello, hey, how's it going? How you doing, Michael? Hopefully you're having a great. I'm assuming it's morning for you as well. Hopefully you guys are having or you hopefully you guys have a great day or night or afternoon. Um, I used melatonin for a while, but it didn't really help at all that much. I kind of get the feeling on that. I think I only used it. I believe I said like I believe I only used it once, and after that just didn't it didn't work. It kind of felt like gummies at one point. But yeah. Uh, let's what's somber? Okay, so somber mysteries is an audio drama that I decided to give myself a challenge on writing and I don't want to say voice acting in a sense, but that's pretty much the whole like spiel of it. Um, I can probably play that last episode in here because why not? Um, but essentially, it's kind of more like an audio drama with like sound effects and whatnot. So this is like the previous episode, and I'm currently writing episode 3. I'm just putting that out. You're listening to Somber Mysteries on 66.6, The Voice of the Undead. I'm your host, Revoen, and today we have an interesting caller that said that he had been dealing with strange. I recommend a webcomic company in Webtoons or DeviantArt. That's totally fine. I personally would love the idea of finding like new stuff to use as references, mainly because like something that I tend to lean a little bit more when it comes to like horror stuff is like manga, such as Junji Ito and whatnot. But I kind of want to explore a little bit more. The name is Dragon Moon by Ship. Oh, I see. That's why I heard your voice and your videos. You're using radio booths. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Um, everything is edited by me. So yeah. The name is Dragon Mom. Oh, Dragon Mom. Okay. Let me write it down somewhere. Just give me a second, because I don't want to forget about it. And it's like again, it's for like 4 in the morning, so I partially like it's awake, partially asleep. It's a fantasy comic about a girl named Adeline who lives with her adoptive mother, named Nara, and who's a dragon. Honestly probably going to check it out. I have a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to read. I'm pretty sure I have a photo somewhere in my computer. The art is gorgeous. It's both style and complexity. I love storytelling. It's such a fun thing to have around. Um, one of the things that I really like is playing games that has a really good storytelling. But there are some that are, for the lack of better wording, questionable. And it doesn't really have a good purpose of it. And it just kinda ruins my fun for me. I don't think I have any photos of it, do I? I do have one. Uh, Let me see if I can pull this up. The magic system is also quite unique. Instead of elements, it uses hues of color, especially it's known as sketching. Oh, that's kind of interesting. And yes, I'm sorry, I did forget. You sorry, Michael. Sorry. Um, I see that's why I heard your voice in your videos, your recent videos. But yeah, that's the whole concept of the somber mysteries. Uh, the aspect of somber mysteries is having the radio booth as a protagonist. I'm going to the forest at Thursday. Oh, you want to hear something funny? I have an episode based on a forest that I want to create, but I haven't thought when exactly I'm going to drop it. Um, I kind of have an idea how I want to do it. I really have a everything already set up in my head that I wanna use it, and it's gonna be probably I like to believe it's gonna be like the best thing I ever write, but I still need to write it down. My spot is from what we've seen so far, the protagonist might not be fully human. Oh, that's totally fine. I'm not really. I personally don't really mind, honestly. I completely share my screen at this point. So this is all the books that I have on my shelf. Um, I have a good amount of books. um, I have a manga called Meta, Assassin's Creed. You have a job, right? I do have a job right now, thankfully. So eventually, I want to get back into like buying more books. But right now it's not. Sometimes I don't have the opportunity. Because I gotta save money. But yeah, those are the books that I have. Really fun stuff. In terms of horror, like psychological, I can pull it up. Um, The Promised Neverland is such a good story. If you haven't read it personally, um, it's a cleaning company, so I'm thankful that I got the opportunity for that. I'm not going to say what company because that's essentially like doxing myself at that point. Um, but it's a cleaning company. I eventually would love to try a work at doing IT. Like I really, really, really want to give it a shot on that. I feel like it might be fun. If not, I would love, and this is just for fancies, uh, hypothetically speaking, before anything else, uh, work with like some sort of like audio company, carry company, or shadow company. I can't hear you at the moment. Oh no, no, no. Cleaning company. Yeah, it's a cleaning company. It's as some people may say, it's better than nothing. Um, so Jenner, in some sort of way, the location doesn't call it janitor, but that's pretty much it. Just depends on yeah. I just leave it at that. Janitor, yeah, janitorial work. I personally don't really care. It's actually fun. I like my supervisor and like everyone else. I have a fun story about that. So, and this is probably going to sound completely out of context. I had a coworker that literally, like, we were having a conversation yesterday. And he was like, "Hey, you ever been to those places that has like quotations like a happy ending?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." He's like, "You wanna go?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like the confidence in that. He's like, "You wanna go? I know a place." And I'm like, "Let me think about it." Most likely no, but let me think about it. So yeah, I'm not going though, but I found that super hilarious. I told like other coworkers, and they just laugh about it. And they're like, "So what place are we going?" I'm planning on becoming a game designer director, and I already have a few concepts in mind. I don't. I also have in mind a few stories I want to turn into 3D animated stories. That would be honestly really, really interesting. Uh, I have an idea of a like animated show that I've been wanting to try, but I don't have the skills. I don't have the money for it. Um, so if I don't know if I ever start getting like money for like a YouTube to be like put on the side, then I'll probably be like a contracting, like somebody, a permanent weapon. Oof. Sorry to hear that. Um, but yeah, I would love to give it like a shot on something animated. I know what's his name, Gigag, created Ban. From what I've heard, because I haven't seen it myself, is a really good film. So I'm kind of interested of looking at that. And what sort of weapon did you burn, by the way? I don't I don't think that's possible. Is it? Is it even possible? I don't think so. I accidentally jump. Wait, what? You good? Like, do you shouldn't you be calling like an ambulance or something? I yeah. Honestly, you should probably be calling like an ambulance. Maybe most well, no, maybe most likely. That way, you don't they can pull it out and everything. I I, I mean, I never. Never mind. Don't threaten me with numbers. Wait, what? It's not even a threat. I'm just asking, trying to look out for you at some sort of degree. Can I tell you one of the power systems of my stories? This is one of universal meaning. It appears in almost all of my stories. I personally don't really mind, but if it is like something unique, I probably rather actual see it or read it and see how it works. Because I feel like when you are creating like a system that involves like certain magic or like power or something, like it's a little bit more entertaining seeing it as part of the story rather than throwing everything out of the sink. Um, like for example, um, I'm not going to give like big details on the power system. Actually, I can probably give you the details on the power system because there's some basically a manga with the same concept, but the whole my story is a little is different on that. So the story that I am thinking about, though, eventually, if it ever happens, obviously, creating is a story where different universes are like coming into regular Earth, and magic is something that is able to be used, right? Um, but there's a couple of twisted aspects. Like I'm pretty sure I show War Trigger on my shelf. I'm planning to use like a little bit of that system, integrate into or a little bit of the plot points into of it into this story. So that's an example, right? Um, but but yeah, also something that I kind of learn from personal like experience. um, if you're going to create something, you probably shouldn't want to like share it. Mainly because somebody might take the idea from you and might run it with it. The power is known as the strength of will. Okay, plot armor explain. Okay, I feel like I just kind of gave like an explanation for no reason. I I don't know. I feel like that was kind of pointless. I don't know. I have to take that. But I know someone can steal it. Okay, that's fine. Because I know like certain people are really protective over like the things that they want others to know, and like the whole concept of like, oh yeah, like a original story is like something that you might have somebody else might have used already, you know. What's a good example? What's a good example that I can use for my bookshelf? Mm, Actually, I can't even think of one. But I still want to tell you and hear your thoughts on it so that maybe it can improve. I mean, you can honestly. I don't think I'm an expert on it, on like storytelling. So take my opinion with a grain of salt. That's the best thing I can tell you. Uh, because at the end of the day, anybody can tell you whatever they want, and you can essentially, you should essentially write what you want to write rather than what other wants you to write. Despite how some people think, like a good example is for the lack of better choice, I like to believe, is Mushoku Tensei. Um, People really, really, really dislike the aspect of season one or the beginning stages of the story, but the author like really create a story that he personally enjoy, and he found a fan base that they enjoy as well. So it's just a matter of like, what you want to write. But sure, shoot, shoot your thing. Speaking of shooting, how you feeling, Michael? Um, you're. I don't even know questions to ask honestly, because I feel like I'm going to ask the wrong question. It's all that we allow you that used to essentially change reality. To sheerware. Mm, that may be a little complicated because if you can change everything based on sheer will, the how where exactly will be the line drawn? How many times can you use it? Uh, they can wrap reality, change casually, and even survive getting erased on a conceptual level. I mean, it sounds like a really interesting concept, but that aspect, the thing that remains, not remains, the thing that I wonder the most is, um, are there any limitations? How many people can they use it? Does everybody can use that sort of ability? Um, what's the purpose of or what's the reason everybody can use it, right? Or like certain people can use it. Um, what sort of changes has affected the story? Does everybody remembers what happened before the reality changes? So it brings more questions rather than something that you can say, I can use this as a what's it called, as a plot point. Because if hypothetically speaking, right, if the system works out of sheer will, right, and the person has the biggest sheer will, say things, um, I don't want everybody to remember this system. So would that means that he is the only person that can use it? The main limit is one connection to the shroud, a pseudo dimension where the great collective in consciousness, sort of like a hive mind, right? In that case, how exactly is everybody connected? Resides? Mm, hold on, I gotta go. It's totally fine. Probably gonna wrap up the stream soon because it's almost 5 in the morning and I need to go to bed. In terms of what I normally do is I tend to stream games most of the time. But as of lately, I've been having a little bit of a hit or miss when it comes to streaming, mainly because I work now, um, and I'm honestly get like tired once I get home because it gets kind of heavy at days, and on my location we deal with peak season, so we are essentially like busy throughout the day. Like I couldn't even see right now when before I start streaming, mainly because my lower back hurts. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't continue by tomorrow. But if it happens, it happens. I just don't want I guess call it off. Yeah. Oh, this was that's what the farmers call. The fur before was fine. And mm, should I describe the goat's looks? If you have a high connection, then go crazy. But if you have a low connection, then you're quite limited. Mm, I gotta think about that in terms of how everything's written. Perspective. This is not reality. If you move connect reality, yeah, well. Think of it as a door. The more open it is, the more you can use it. Okay. Mm, does can everybody use it, or is it like a certain amount of people? Like, do they unlock it by achieving like or meeting certain requirements, or does it happen because it just happens? Everybody has access to it. Is it possible that people might be able to cut the connection? That is a big question. Because if that is possible, then I'm pretty sure I mentioned this, but the one with who has the yeah, but it's very difficult. And then how are you going to be balancing people that has high level of sheer will to prevent that aspect that you know what, I'm cutting everybody's connection, I'm the only one that can have the connection type of thing. You go what I mean? Like I feel like having that aspect of changing reality might be a fun system, but I feel like actually that might be your main plot point, or like the main villain's goal if you think about it, because everybody can use it, right? But nobody, like everybody just use it for like really mild things, like let's say hypothetically speaking, like making food, use it for like broadcasting, or like mundane things, right? And the big body is like, you know what, I don't want everybody to have this connection, I can take it for myself. So his whole purpose and goal is just finding a way to cut everybody's connection to the main system. So like there's gonna be like restrictions, right? That's what I'm thinking. Like there's gonna be a certain level of restrictions, but the deeper he goes or she goes, whichever gender you're trying to go for as the villain, um, or protagonist as well. That's also another possibility. Um, you can deep into it. You see, the strength of will is never the main focus of the story. It's more like an additional tool. Is in the protagonist's arsenal. Oh, okay. I was I went rumbling a whole different place. That's on me. My bad. Um, because like that's where my brain started going. Because I started seeing it as What a good example? It's fine. What's a good example that I can use for something like that? Like somewhere in the back of my head was thinking something like Matrix mixed with Attack on Titans, for example. I don't think that's a good example, but it was something around those lines. Um, mm, I kind of want to suggest maybe question mark. Um, I don't know if this is going to be a good book to use as a reference, but I want to say something either like the NPCs in this village sim game must be real. I'm thinking maybe something around like that. If not, I really want to say Cream Car, but I don't think that's a good one. This is actually more on the horror aspect, but real account my actually I don't think that's a good one because I don't know. Like I'm assuming like you, let's say hypothetically speaking, you're above 18, right? It might be a good example because the way that the story is being aligned, it doesn't have a power system, but it has a follow system. In certain stories, the SOW isn't known. Well, in others it is. You know what? I think the good example or a good recommendation to maybe um use as a point of reference, it might be magical index or like anything related to Toaru index or Toaru franchise because the way that the story sort of goes is like has like various like mechanics. Oh, I know that one. Yeah, that one. I feel like that one might be a good point of reference. Uh, but I could be wrong, honestly. Um, because I know that story has like multiple like multiple books in order, not in order, multiple books that connects into the main story. Um, but I don't know how deep that is on that. Um, what's another one that I can probably think of? I think those are the only ones that I have in mind. I want to say Log Horizon, but I don't think that's a good reference though. Oh my goodness, it's almost 5 in the morning, and I barely did anything. But yeah, like give it a shot on those and see if you can grab something. If you don't read, if you don't read line novels, I probably suggest to read the line novel, at least for the main series of the Toaru series. I'll try. Thanks. Because I believe at one point there is I believe like two different points. There is this. I'm not really gonna spoil it unless you want the spoilers. Um, Now that I think about it, because I also like to drop the spoilers. um, but if you want spoilers, let me know. I don't really read the lineup of myself, but I have been spoiled to some degree. At least let's go before this call it. The kid or at least that's what the color form. The kid. Hey Natasha, welcome in. Wow, why should the second episode of this? Oh, really? What do you think of it? Like it? Thank you. I honestly been having. I wanna say I don't wanna say like issues writing the third episode. It's more like understanding what route I wanna take it. Last stream that I have for this, I legitimately just feel like I wasted my time trying to figure it out. Because originally I had the idea of making in this circumstance Nikki like a established wish, but for this one it's like no, like I should be something more ground, like something a little more different. And for this, I'm probably going to see if I can make it a little more solvy, like a little bit more depressing. Just to see if I can probably manage it. Um, so yeah. Hopefully, I gave the tone that that I want to give. Let's go. Fun like baby, a very good accessory this time. Maybe I don't know. Um, Cause for this one, essentially it's going to be telling the story of how Nikki became a witch, but at the end of the whole thing, in terms of how the host handles the situation, he is going to be essentially furious because at least I guess the spoilers in some sort of way. Well, spoilers. Um, in this sort of realm, there's like multiple demons and all the sort of like fun stuff. So having a witch contractor under you is kind of like, okay, cool, but I'm the host, and the way that I want to portray uh, the host as the story progresses in some sort of way is that he just becomes a little more deranged in some sort of I keep saying way, but that's like the perspective I have, because originally for this part it says Hanson was able slam. He's like, I wish, are you kidding? Who owns this disappointment? And he raises his voice in anger. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. And originally I was going to have like, what pathetic demon? And he's like, forget it. Let's just get to the story before I infuriate someone, right? That was the original line that I had, but after like thinking about this, it's not going to be a witch. It's going to be like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? You're telling me that this disappointment didn't choose me? Damn, the range host will be funny. Like I want to keep it like at least in a way that it's like a little bit the range, but not to the range. Like he's getting upset, he's getting like frustrated, that things aren't going the way that he wants to, or like things are just going weird. Because like from what I showed on the last episode is that he isn't too excited to deal with like humans in a sense. Yeah, yeah, not too much. Gotcha. Um, I don't know if I'm like portraying the way that I want to like portray it, but that's kind of like the idea that I want to go for. Um, but something that I found interesting today is that well, two things actually. A baby goat is called a kid, and sorry, I'm speaking like directly into the mic. And the other thing that I found hilarious is that an adult female, yeah, a kid. Just let me put a. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Let me. No sé if you. I don't know if you can like read that right here. I'll put it in the chat as well, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, that allegedly that's an actual thing. And there is a go terminology as well. Uh, I read it earlier, but I'll read it again before I end the stream because it's almost like 5. It's past 5 already, so Mike and I want to go to bed. So a female goat is called a doe. A nanny goat is a slang term for a female goat. However, the preferred terminology for a female goat is doe. A young female goat is called a doeling. Goat dam is the term used to describe the female goat parent when referring the genetic lineage of a goat. An intact male goat is called a buck. A billy or billy goat is a slang term for an intact male goat. However, the preferred terminology for a male goat is a buck. A young male goat is called buckling goat. Goat sire is a term used to describe the male goat parent when referring to genetic lineage of a goat. A weather goat is a castrated or neutered male goat. It can sometimes be called a weather goat. That is wild. Oh yeah, there's also young goats are known as a yearling goats that are 1 to 2 years of age typically. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. Let me pull this up on you, bro. Oh my god, that's hilarious. These are specific too. Yeah, because I was looking for like terminologies that I can use for the writing to be a little bit more like accurate. So this is hilarious. uh, oh my god, that's funny. That's literally what it is. And it's coming from the Go terminology website, or some sort of Go, or some sort of website. I was like, I learned something new today. That is so funny. Oh boy. Studying about ghosts for work. Wow. I know, right? That was hilarious. The kid, I felt like once this started to get recorded, or publish. I'm hoping within the next maybe 3 4 Sundays. I'll be done with it. By the time they start hearing, one day Nika found a baby goat, a kid, or at least that's what the farmers call it, and then proceed with the kid instead of the young goat. Oh my god, that's gonna be a fun trip. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I forgot what I was gonna write. The kid. Mm, the kid. Actually, no. Nikki. Hope. I misspelled Nikki. Hope for the kid to grow to a darling. Right, or forgot what you were about to write because of goats. No, well that too. Um, but normally I have like an idea, a rough idea on what I want to write. But since I want to make something that at least it can last like 5 minutes, and it's like my first time trying to pull off like a story where a witch uh converts into like or like a regular woman converts into a witch is something that I haven't really gave it too much thought. Like I have an idea what exactly I want to do with it, like the overall aspect, but like putting into details is something that I'm still trying to figure it out. Because those are some good ideas. Yeah. So like in terms of what I have right now is like back on the 1800s, witches were just a rumor for people to just harm women that were outcasts or herbalists that either went from town to town in order to survive or found new business ventures. Nikki, a young farmer that became an orphan at a young age and had to take over the family that she was raised by her parents. And as she grew up, Nikki had more issues keeping the farm afloat, as the crop was slowly going bad, but also dealing with the village people. Slowly, Nikki became an outcast by the time she reached adulthood. The farmland became barren. The people avoided her as rumors were spread that she was cursed by a demon or that she was a witch, and her parents were a sacrifice for her to become one. One day, Nikki found a baby goat, a kid, or at least that's what the farmers call it. Nikki hoped for the kid to grow to a dowling or doe in order to get milk and hopefully find a new business that she can use. Unfortunately, actually, I can probably do that because I literally stopped writing dowling or o or doe in order to bring business back to the farm and I want to say bring business back to the farm and have it functional. No, being able to use to grow into a dowling or dough in order to bring business back to the farm by selling its milk. I should clarify goat milk on here. Um, it's goat milk. in order to open a new venture of business. I shouldn't be saying venture. I don't think it does a like something that can be used back then. Yeah, you should. Mm, I guess I'll leave it to this then. Um, in order to open a new business. Oh, I shouldn't know. I shouldn't be ordered to open a new business to revive. I mean, you should clarify about the gold milk. Yeah, 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 yeah. It really, really in terminology, it sounds kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Who came up with these terms? Honestly, and that is such a weird thing to have. Uh, Ay, Dios mío. Uh, let's to uh, relieve, revive, restore the form. No, I shouldn't be saying restore it. Recreate now. Recreate is just craft is making something new. Uh, to bring to get money. I wanna say to feed. To eat something. To be able to eat them. To eat in order to get money. So she can have a warm meal? No, that wouldn't make sense. I'm thinking of the idea of in for her to get money in order to get something out of it. Because since it's her, essentially the farm isn't doing well. It's essentially, for the lack of better terms, a dumpster. Um, there might be better terms, but I can't think of one right now. Um, so she's probably be eating whatever. At least inside my head, that's what I'm assuming, right? Eating whatever uh, fruit, food, whatever she might have left over, or like whatever she can gather from like I don't know, selling whatever crops she might still be able to use before everything went bad. Um, or essentially eating. I don't know how bad that sounds, honestly. Eating the rotten or rotten like vegetables that she was like raising. Yeah, gotcha. Um, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just too focused on that aspect rather than trying to bring something else into the plot plate. Um, because the way that I see it is, if she's been an outcast, then business isn't doing well, and if business isn't doing well, she's going to be really really skinny, really really thin, uh, unhealthy, probably just. I'm assuming stealing food from like vendors per se. Um, just typical like young orphan thing that you see like on those like typical movies, right? That's like where my head is at. Um, but she's still trying to like bring back the form that she used to have. Mm. That's where my headspace is at. Mm. In order to get money. Mm. I really used to that for bringing business into Pakistan the farm. Uh, Actually, I can probably just leave at that because the aspect of bringing business back into the farm is essentially making money. So that point is already established by you saying that. So I don't really need to use the in order to get money part rather than just continue from that point on. At least that's what probably makes sense in my head. Um, I think actually, what time is it right now? 5:20 in the morning. Yeah, I think that's a good stopping point for tonight. Um, um, but yeah, that's like where my head process is at right now. Um, I'm definitely going to change this line. And down here, I'm going to be adding another line that I want to add. Something like don't worry, don't worry, don't worry what I have it listed, but I think it's just for that for now. Don't worry, little demon. Your demonic swords. You're pathetic. No, I should be pathetic. Your sad show will never bring fruition. Is that a word? That's a word, probably. No, it's not. Probably not. Will never be successful. Not as long as I don't want to say the word owner. I mean that's like the more accurate word. But I don't want to use that. Oh, it's not on my contractor. No. Not as long as the flames in hell burns. I totally misspell flames. Go. Burns. And you were. Even if. Actually, I think that might be better. Even if. The fire of hell extinguish. And you were the last demon. In hell. That way, this way essentially clarifies that the reboot is essentially a demon itself. Essentially opening the door for that. And I'm probably gonna be fixing this. Just gonna add like a little side note for myself. Change the last part of the last two parts of the radio booth and dialogue. Too much Nikki's backstory and response, and finish the story. I think that's a good. Again, this is a good stopping point. I keep saying that like the last half an hour. But yeah, tomorrow, if I do stream, because at this point it's kind of like, do I stream or do I not stream? Will I stream or will I not stream? If I stream tomorrow, I'm probably gonna be streaming Dark Souls all the way until Thursday and Friday, which is a game that I been wanting to play, but I haven't played in quite some time. It's going to be Persona 5 The Phantom X, and the weekends are going to be my days off from streaming. So yeah, because I really want more days off from streaming. I do want to say thank you. Thank you to Natasha. And I can see because of my glasses. Luca Polimanti, Sergeant Michael, and hashtag Eddie Estelugu. Thanks for him. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Had a nice time here. Thank you. This is like the first time I use background music, so yeah. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. And for anybody that's been watching this in the background, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight as well. Hopefully everybody, even the ones watching the VOD, hopefully you guys have a great, fantastic day, night, or evening. Yeah, the background music sounds good too. Thank you. I like to sound pretty particular when it comes to music. I'm pretty open-minded, but when it comes to sort of things, I really want to match the mood that I want to have. But that's just me. Anyways, I really gotta wrap up the stream now before it gets like 6 in the morning. Once like it reaches like 6 in the morning, like I wake up really late, and yeah. Anyways, hopefully I'll stream tomorrow. If I stream tomorrow, I'll be streaming Dark Souls 3 as previously said, and yeah. Anyways, have a wonderful day, have a fantastic evening, and have a beautiful afternoon. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.